And I mean, earlier this week I was speaking to a friend of mine who is in the police service, and he was telling me corruption really mostly started with the clergy, and so people need to be careful when they're looking or exploring their religious beliefs. But Prof, why are Kenyans repeating the same mistake? We've seen this. We had the likes of Kanyari. This is not new to Kenyans. Conmen disguised as clergy coming out and taking advantage of the desperation of Kenyans.
I don't think that conmen are only in the clergy. I think that all of us, Michelle, are besieged by conmen. The political class is full of conmen. The people who are supposed to be providing security are full of conmen. So this is what happens, Michelle, in a society where you impoverish people and law and order has broken down. But in terms of exposing the mischiefs of the clergy, I think that the media has done pretty well because most of the things that come out that are being done by the clergy are actually reported by the media.
Right.
And the media is pretty ruthless when it actually points its guns on an individual or on a church or on some clergy, and they're very good at bringing out these stories. Of course, it's a story of contrast, and therefore it interests the media. However, there was a discussion that I don't think was properly highlighted in the media, or it wasn't given the impetus that it needed. There was an effort to regulate churches.
Right.
That effort went the way it went. I have always said, my position has always been, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. If you're in a church and instead of preaching the gospel, you are preaching money, then government does need to come in, and you need to have this discussion about giving to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. And Kogi has put it well, has said, if they are businesses, can they then be declared as businesses, and can they be treated as businesses so that government can get some revenue from them? If they are peddling the word of God, then can they give the word of God and give to God what belongs to God and give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar? I do think that we need to have a robust conversation about regulating these guys. It is not a palatable one. They are very militant about not having themselves regulated. You cannot have, Michelle, you cannot have such a powerful social institution unregulated. I have always said you cannot have unregulated churches, you cannot have unregulated media, you cannot have unregulated government. These are very strong institutions, and like we've said before, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. We cannot have institutions in society that have absolute power over the people without regulation.
All right.